This is just a quick overview of the history and social science domain within the California Preschool Learning Foundations, and you'll find that in Volume 3 of the Foundations. And a lot of times teachers will wonder, well, really, what does history and social science look like in the preschool classroom? And it really is the beginning of a child getting a sense of where they fit in society, beginning to think about how they are the same and different from each other, and how their family might be the same or different from other families, such as they might have a different family structure, they may have a different culture or language, they may celebrate different holidays, but it really is beginning to give the child a sense of where they fit in the community. It also has to do with learning to live in a democratic society. Very often we'll have preschool children develop their own classroom rules. We'll begin to teach them how to get along with others, how to take turns, and how to resolve conflicts. At this age, children are beginning to get a real sense of their own personal history. And it can be as simple as, well, this is the book we read yesterday, or this happened when I was younger, or even something more complex as to things that happened when mommy was a little girl. History and social science also includes the concepts of place and geography. And this has to do with the location of familiar places to the child, and then also knowing how those places relate to each other. It can be, a map of our playground, or how we walk to the park, or knowing that I live on one street and the grocery store is on another street. A sense of place also has to do with ecology, and this is learning to take care of our earth and our natural resources. So this can involve taking care of pets, whether that either be at home or in the classroom, or learning to take care of natural resources such as learning to recycle or not wasting water. And then it also includes a beginning of sense of economics. And this is the idea that goods and services are not free. We pay for groceries, we pay when we go out, or we may trade things with others. There are 5 strands within the domain of history and social science. Those strands are self and society, becoming a preschool member, a sense of time, sense of place, and marketplace. And within each strand, there may be one or multiple substrands. So within the first strand, self and society, there are 3 substrands, and these center on culture and diversity, relationships, and social roles and occupations. The next strand is becoming a preschool community member, and this pertains to skills for democratic participation, responsible conduct, fairness and respect for other people, and conflict resolution. The third strand is a sense of time, and there are 4 substrands, and these include understanding past events, anticipating and planning future events, having a sense of personal history, and then understanding that there have been historical changes in people and in the world. The 4th strand is a sense of place, and this covers navigating familiar locations, caring for the natural world, and understanding the physical world through drawings and maps. And then the final strand within the domain of history and social science is marketplace. And this has to do with the idea that goods and services are not free. And it focuses on the economic concept of exchange. When we look at each of the different strands within the domain, we see that there are substrands, and then there are age designations along with knowledge and skills and behaviors that we might expect to see at the specific ages. And we understand that children develop along a continuum, so it's not, a cut and dried at 4 years and at 5 years old we should see these things. But these are skills that do develop over time, and the examples that we see below are not a checklist of what the child must demonstrate at certain ages, but rather these are guidelines for us. And children will demonstrate mastery in different and unique ways. And it's important to know that children demonstrate mastery while they're engaged in imaginative play, while they're exploring the environment and materials, being innovative and interacting with peers and adults. And so children will demonstrate their mastery in their own time, in their own language, and we need to observe and watch children as they develop in these strands and substrands of the history and social science domain. This week you're going to read through the History and Social Science Foundations, and as you read, I'd like you to consider which foundations might be easiest for you to observe in preschool children. Which foundations are going to be more challenging, do you think, for you to observe? And then which strands or substrands is the least familiar to you with regard to preschool environments? So your reading this week will be to read the introduction to History and Social Science Foundations, and also the strands and substrands of the history and social science domain within the foundations. Thank you for watching.